Hey everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Cheryl Cooper, and I am here with my business bestie, Larissa Russell, and we are Wisdom Meets Innovation.
Yes, excited to be here and share more information about AI.
Today, we're going to focus on the terminology that is behind AI. I know that you hear a whole bunch of people talking these little abbreviated words, and it looks kind of weird and curious about what it is. We're going to take a deep dive into it and tell you what those terms are and how they apply to the way that we use it. So let's get started.
We'll start just with a brief because we did cover this in our last video, but what is AI? AI is artificial intelligence. So that's a technology that mimics human thinking, but really quickly. And so it does everything very quickly. It's been around for a long time. We think it's new, but it's really not. And it can be incredibly supportive. And we just want to remind you, it is not a replacement for you and your wisdom.
AI, the broad term of technology that can think or make decisions. It can make some decisions for you in ways that mimic human intelligence.
Machine learning, or ML, you'll often hear, and it's a type of AI where the system improves its performance over time by learning data. And think about Netflix recommending different shows for you, or now how AI can memorize things and it learns more and more about you. And that's machine learning.
The next one, large language models, LLMs. And that's a type of AI trained on huge amounts of data, huge amounts of text, and it can generate human-like writing, answer questions, and hold conversations. The greatest example of this that we know right now is ChatGPT. That is an LLM. There's also Claude and Gemini and many more.
GPT, this is one I get asked a lot because we create custom GPTs. And so GPT is Generative Pre-trained Transformer. So it's a specific type of LLM behind, if it's ChatGPT or any of the other platforms. Generative means it creates content, and pre-trained it is you're putting in parameters around it. So it's learned from lots of data, and then you're putting some parameters around it. And the transformer is the technical structure that makes it powerful. So you'll often hear this term in custom GPTs, which can be called different things on different platforms, but they are GPTs. And so that's that pre-trained piece of it to do a specific thing.
And I think it's every time I think of the word transformer, it takes me back to the movie The Transformer. This is one you all know, like, and trust, maybe, maybe not, but this is what we're using in the world today is ChatGPT. And ChatGPT is a tool you're probably already using, like I said, and its application is built on the GPT model. So it's built on the generative pre-trained transformer model, and it lets you chat with the AI in our language.
And there are so many different platforms. ChatGPT is probably the most common because it was one of the first public made. And so people got used to it. There are so many different, like thousands now, literally thousands. I am on a couple of different lists to get updated on new AI that comes out, and it's overwhelming because there's many a day. So a prompt, what's a prompt? It's the instructions you give AI. An example, write a friendly email for women in my community based on X. And you can pre-train it, but a prompt is the actual information that you give it so that you get the results that you want, right? And how you write that prompt can make a difference in what you get out of it. And so we're going to talk about that in our next episode, but really important part of telling AI what you want. So that's a prompt.
And the next one that we're going to talk about is prompt engineering. And when we first started hearing about ChatGPT, we learned about prompt engineering, and everybody wanted to become a prompt engineer. I was one of those people. And what prompt engineering is a fancy term for learning how to ask better questions or give clearer instructions to AI. You don't need to be an engineer, so don't worry about being an engineer on this. You have to just know how to put things together in a way that is potentially sequential and makes sense, and it'll give you great output because you've engineered your prompt very well. So just practice at being pretty specific about what you're creating in your prompt, and then you become a prompt engineer and you're doing prompt engineering.
Training data. So this is the data that is used to train AI. So the textbooks, articles, information, now it has access to the internet. Most of them do. So the training data is the information that it has been fed or is being fed to give you the answers that you want. So sometimes it'll be a closed container and specific training data, and you can create your own. That's a custom GPT. You can do that. And on Notebook LM, that's a perfect closed container for training data. But also, if it's open, then it has the whole internet to learn from. But training data is the specific data that it's trained on.
And then there's generative AI, and you hear this term quite a bit. And so it is an AI that doesn't just analyze, but actually creates something new, like text, images, or even music. For example, ChatGPT is one of them. We'll probably keep going back to that over and over again. Sora, which is part of ChatGPT's toolkit. You can create images with Sora, and then even music can be created by Suno, which is one of Larissa's favorite AI tools. But there's many more out there.
So many that are available now, again, probably thousands of them, that generate something new from the information that it has. You really see this now in images, because when the AI in images first came out, it was awful because they were literally cutting up people's artwork and using that. And you'd see part of someone's signature and you'd see it was horrible. And so as an artist, I refused to use it. But more recently, the generative AI creates something new. And that I love.
Yeah, and some of the time when you're using the tools and you see, like in Canva, you're doing generative AI, and you can ask it to do very photorealistic, and you can choose these different categories. It's really a cool space right there. I love the generative AI.
It is. It is. Hallucination. This is one you hear often. And you're probably like, what does that have to do with anything? When
Yeah.
AI makes up something that sounds convincing, but isn't true. I have been saying this since day one. Make sure that you know what you're talking about before you share it. Double check things if it's something you don't know about, but honestly, don't just take something from AI and, it's the gospel. It's not necessarily true. It wants to make you happy. That's its job, is to make you happy. And so it will often make things up because it thinks it'll make you happy. So please fact check. That's a hallucination.
And it all depends on which tools you're using too, especially ChatGPT. It hallucinates quite a bit. It's gotten so much better with
Mhm.
GPT-5, and I'm sure it will continue to improve over the years. But like with Claude and Perplexity, they will give you fact check points that you can click on and go out and confirm the information. Just something to keep in mind.
I also asked for that in
Chat.
ChatGPT. Mhm.
Yeah. And then there is API, which is Application Programming Interface, the API. And there's many times when you start to move beyond just the basic levels and start to do a little bit more advanced use of AI, that you will go in the background and plug in your APIs. And what it is a bridge that lets other softwares connect to AI. You don't need to know the tech. You just need to know that you're allowing it to use the AI and to build it into a different tool. Many tools will use the ChatGPT API.
Yeah. So it's the connector for your
Mhm.
AI and something else. And they're becoming more common now. So you might hear that a lot more. Plugins, extensions, integrations. Those are the add-ons that expand what AI can do. For instance, using AI inside of Canva or Notion. Many platforms now, my video editor has it literally. You can't open a program now without it having AI. And so it allows the AI to expand. As we're seeing the changes going back to ChatGPT, we're going to see probably a lot more add ons and extensions, integrations, those sort of things. I just hooked up my Google Drive and my email and all of that. And so that will now expand on what we can use it for.
It's going to
Yeah.
be super cool, right? That's going to
Yeah.
jump into a little bit of agent stuff, but we'll talk about that in a couple of different episodes further down the road. So you don't need to memorize all of these terms. When you need to understand what they are, come back to this video and check it out. We'll have this in the description area. But just start with prompts in AI and GPT and LLM,
Hmm.
and you'll be more knowledgeable than 50% of the population.
Yes. And I'm going to say it again. A lot of people are afraid of AI. It is the future. It is here. It's the now. And if you do not learn it, you will be left behind. And I don't want to put fear into you. It's not what I want to do. But I am concerned, especially as women, we often avoid technology because we've been told we're not good at it. We don't have to be good at anything. It's very simple to use. And the more you use it, the easier it'll be. But if you do not use AI, you will be left behind. So just something to think about.
Thank you for hanging out with us. In our next episode, we'll show you how to talk to AI and write prompts that work. That's something that both of us love doing. So that should be a very fun episode.
Look forward to it. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and ring that bell so you know when a new video is dropped. We're here to support you. We're trying to keep these videos short so we don't overwhelm you, and we just want to share to make it as easy as possible. Thank you.
Take care.